Quarterback breakdown for the week, it's Drew Brees' turn. There's very few quarterbacks in this league. I can't think of many, maybe Donovan McNabb, Manning, Brady when he's healthy. There's not many quarterbacks in this league that can carry their team on their back. And not many quarterbacks in the history of football. You can think of Marino. You could think of Favre when he was winning Super Bowl, that can carry a team on their back that really don't need a lot of help. And when I say a lot of help, it's a team game. That don't need a 200-yard rusher, that doesn't need that in order for him to, it's like a home run hitter, that if he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, he can carry a team on his back for 20 days or for 30 games. Drew Brees is like that. I think he's as tough a football player as we have in this league. And when you look at the Bob Sanders on the defensive side, Drew Brees, pound for pound, I've mentioned that he's one of the best, if not the best player in the league, and inch for inch. This guy's probably stretching at 6 foot tall, and he's as tough as you'll find. And that's the number one thing that if I'm looking for a quarterback, accuracy and those tangible things, but toughness, and I'm talking about mental, emotional, and physical toughness, and a guy who has guts, and Drew Brees is at the top of the league. And right now it's him, Portis, and Trent Edwards that I think are the top 3 MVP vote getters in any particular order you shuffle them. Now I know that the Saints are under 500, not playing consistent football, but without Drew Brees, this team is in the cellar, deeper in the cellar than they already are. And Drew Brees alone can carry you. Now, the thing about it is, if you stop Drew Brees, you stop the Saints. And now with Reggie Bush out, you're going to watch now and see just how good Drew Brees is, and I know how good he is. And he's going to even have to shoulder more of the load with Bush out for a month. But the thing that makes Brees great, aside from that mental, physical, and emotional toughness, is he understands where to throw the ball through lanes. And people always ask me, how's a 6-foot guy or 5'11" guy, how's he throw over guys? Most quarterbacks, even the Tom Bradys and the Mannings that are 6'5", you don't throw over a lot of guys because defensive linemen are 6'6" and 6'7" and 6'4", and they jump. And when they put their arms in the air, you know they're well over 7 feet. I mean, well over it. So it's very difficult. So you throw through lanes. And Drew Brees is the best in the league at throwing through lanes. He's still got good feet. I mean, this is one of those guys, when a guy leaves a team like when Brees left the Chargers, you say, well, who won that deal? And you know, Rivers is going to be a great player and has already proven that he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But both teams won that. And Drew Brees gives you that toughness and leadership that very few guys in this league have. I mean, Jake Delhomme, great leader. Manning, great leader. You know, Ray Lewis on the defensive side. You look around, and Drew Brees is one of those guys. So when I watch Brees, mechanically he's sound because he has to be. When I say physically limited, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the league. He'd be the first to tell you. Obviously he doesn't have the greatest physical stature in the league, but his mind is as bright as anybody's in the league, and he knows how to win. And there's a difference, and he has that will to prepare. He understands that he must prepare even harder and must do things even a little bit better than the next guy, because there are some limits to what he can do because of his stature and the rest of it. But you know what? He's got a heart that's the size of a basketball hoop, and he understands what's going on. And he's never an I confess he did it guy. And I'm looking for that in my quarterback, meaning that, hey, it can't be my fault. It's got to be their fault. If a ball's on the ground, Drew Brees will he'll say it's his fault. If there's a tip ball interception, he'll take the blame for it. And that's why guys love to play for him, and even guys that play against him. Favre used to, and still has this, where when somebody knocks him down, they help him up on the defensive side. Brees is the same way. Not a chatterbox. He gets it done, wins football games, and understands how to do it. And can you imagine if he was on a team with a great defense and even had more weapons, that guys weren't injured, that the team had their full bill of health? This is a great football player, not just a good one. And his numbers, he may throw for 5,000 yards this year. And now without Reggie Bush, even though you lose not only an explosive runner, but a guy out of the backfield that can catch 7, 8, 9 balls, they may have to go more vertical now, and Brees may throw for more yards because there's going to be more pressure on them to throw more. I think this is a special football player. Well, special talent is a Peyton Manning is one of those kind of guys. When you look at Donovan McNabb, special talent. Drew Brees is a special football player. And when I say overachiever, the first thing that comes to people's mind is he's not very good, not very talented. You can't do what he does and not be very talented. But he has elevated his play, and from Purdue all the way on, for a guy who wasn't highly recruited out of high school, this guy has done everything you could ever ask, is the perfect team player, and is a wonderful football player. When I say throw through lanes, he's able to sidestep and throw when a guy's arms are up, sidestep and throw through him, and just be able to throw the ball between arms. So I love watching Drew Brees play. And if you're going to go, if you're a fantasy guy, obviously Drew Brees has got to be at the top of your list every year. But if you want a guy who understands what it takes to win games and understands that when you got a guy when there's 1:30 to go and you say, you know what, I know he won't turn his back and run on us, Drew Brees is your guy. One of my favorite people in the league, one of my favorite players in the league, and I can win with Drew Brees. He is a Super Bowl quarterback. He just needs to be on a Super Bowl team. Can the Saints elevate that? Maybe not this year, but every year they get closer. And as they continue to build this, Drew Brees is only going to get better because he's physically still in good condition. And when you get to a point where you finally understand what goes on, maybe you're physically not good enough, I don't think that's going to be the case for Drew Brees. He understands how to get it done with accuracy and with toughness. One of the better players in this league, and is going to fight for the MVP all year long.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.